Oh, it's the Los Angeles Raiders versus the Denver Broncos. Brought to you by Ford and your local Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately? By Radio Shack, your Christmas electronics store. And by Budweiser, Beechwood aged for that clean, crisp taste. This Bud's for you.
It's a battle for first place in the AFC West. The Broncos and the Raiders are both 9-4, and for Denver, the home field has been an advantage. Those 2 losses in 3 years, one by 3 points to Seattle, another by 4 this year to Miami. Dick Enberg with Merlin Olsen. Welcome. You can just feel the intensity in this mile-high city.
Dick, this is a rivalry charged with bad feelings and bad blood. The other thing you hear talk of here is playoffs. Even with there are 3 games left this season, players, coaches, fans alike are talking about this as a playoff game. You know what? They're right.
Indeed they are. And they're getting ready for the kickoff. And the Raiders have won. The toss will receive first. The weather. We hear that it is snowing just 20 miles away from here, although the conditions at the moment here on the field are perfect.
The last 4 meetings between these 3 teams, very, very close. 3 points or less. 2 of those games have gone to overtime. You saw Tom Flores on his sideline. There is Dan Reeves. Both of these men know the importance of this game today.
The earlier game in the Coliseum in Los Angeles. Chris Barr missed the field goal late. It went into overtime, and then Barr kicked the field goal as the Raiders took the kickoff in the sudden death overtime and marched it in for a quick score by Barr. And therefore, they are 1 leg up on the Broncos, although both are 9-4. Carlos delivers a high end-over-end kick to Kenny King, and the Raiders won't run it out, and that's good news for Denver. Carlos has not been kicking off well, and that time he roots it to the back line of the end zone. Mark Wilson will bring the offense of the Raiders on the field, and Wilson is 8-2 as a starter. He has Mose Barr at center, Hannah and Marvin at guards, Bruce Davis and Henry Lawrence at the tackles. Jesse Hester, the top draft pick of the Raiders, at 1 wide out, with Dokie Williams having a good year at the other. The leading receiver, tight end, Todd Christensen. The leading rusher in the NFL, Marcus Allen, with Frank Hawkins, the blocker, behind Wilson. They start from the Raider 20. That's Hester in motion. Hawkins gets the carry as the decoy and gains 3 into that orange jersey Denver defense. And they're led today by Barney Chavis, the veteran from South Carolina State, who is playing in his 180th game as a Bronco. That's a Denver record, breaking the tie with Billy Thompson. Chavis there at 1 defensive end. Reuben Carter on the nose. Rulon Jones, tough pass rusher. Tom Jackson, Steve Busick, Carl Mecklenburg, Jim Ryan, the linebackers. Harden and Wright at the corners. Foley and Smith at safety. 2nd and 7. Wilson's first throw, complete to Todd Christensen, right at the 30-yard line. Maybe a first down. It is. Dennis Smith with a tackle. Todd Christensen, the most productive of the NFL tight ends. 68 catches coming in.
This Denver defense will employ Carl Mecklenburg, number 77, and you'll see him all over the field today. They've used him already at 2 positions. They've been on the field for 2 plays.
There's 7 letters in the name Mecklenburg and 11 positions. He played 7 of those last week, and Merlin will be chronicling just how busy a man he is. He's all over the field and was a 4-sack man, forced 2 fumbles last week, leads the club with 5. Marcus Allen reversing his field. That's where he's tough. He picks up a gain of about 6. And Dan Reeves talked about that yesterday, Merlin. We've got to stop him on the backside. Where he really hurts you is if you over-pursue, and then he cuts back against all that pursuit, breaks it open.
He has such great awareness and such control as a runner. He always seems to have a sense of where the opening is, and then he has the ability to get himself into position to take advantage of that opportunity.
Allen's first carry worth 6 yards at 2nd and 4. To the 39, where it'll be 3rd and 1. Steve Busick in the middle of the Denver defense with a tackle. Former teammate of Marcus Allen in Southern California.
The Broncos employing a 4-man defensive line so far in this ball game. That's something they did all week last week against the against Pittsburgh. It worked very effectively.
After you beat up on the Raiders, says Busick, you feel like you beat up on the bully on the block. There's a lot of feeling involved in this one. 3rd and inches. Fumble! And Wilson covers it, but that will deny the Raiders a first down, and the fans love it.
Barney Chavis, they call him Methuselah. You saw that gray hair. He earned most of that.
Never had surgery in 13 years of pro ball. He's really kept himself in good condition. Of course, been lucky too. Ray Guy. He's kicked for miles in the NFL. Pressure on, and he just gets it away, and down he goes. No flag. Fumble by Vance Johnson, and he recovers at the 22. You could see that in the warm-ups. Boy, the men, both the receivers, kick returners, all having trouble handling the ball.
Let's take a quick peek to see what happened here. Nobody called the penalty here. Maybe what they're saying is that someone was blocked. Well, it looks to me like that one should have been called. There's no question that they hit Guy, and yet the official said no penalty on it.
There was one Bronco running into the other. The Denver offense has Bryan at center, Howard and Bishop at guard, Lanier and Studdard are the tackles, Kay and Wright a double tight end with Watson leading receiver, Vance Johnson a brilliant rookie, Winder the lone back behind John Elway. Elway having a superb season. It's Winder. Across the 25-yard line, a gain of about 3 into the white jersey Raider defense, minus Lyle Alzado. Howie Long, a true all-pro, Piquel on the nose, and Sean Jones replacing Alzado out for the year, Achilles injury. Van Pelt, Millen, McKenzie the rookie, Martin the leading tackler at the linebacking post, Hayes and Haynes, that troublesome corner pair. McElroy's been out for 2 weeks, returns at safety. Stacy Turan at the other spot for the injured Mike Davis. 2nd and 7. Winder again. Short yardage to the 29-yard line. And that for the fans of these two teams in the West, also 9-4. That means somebody here will go home 9-5. The East not making it easy on the West in the American Conference. 3rd down 4. Watson in motion, and a whistle. Too much time by Elway. That'll cost the Broncos 5. Dan Marino, you just heard about his exploits in the cold of Green Bay, leading the Dolphins. But Elway, and with all the publicity given Marino, Elway has been right on his heels in success, the real success figures, and that's how many you win and how many you lose.
The other thing that people notice and talk about is John Elway getting more comfortable, more relaxed on the football field. It's showing in the way he plays.
3rd and 9, first time out of the shotgun for the Broncos. 3 receivers to the left. Elway. Complete. Vance Johnson at the 39. First down. 15 yards for the rookie from Arizona.
Vance Johnson lines up outside with Watson, and they're doing a little screening there, trying to break free. Sammy Seal, number 43, the man working there on Johnson. And Elway had to anticipate. He was under pressure, had to anticipate that break. Did a good job of getting that ball in the hands of Johnson.
3rd down and 9, and Elway converts the first down. Now back to the ground. Winder pays for a couple of yards.
Sammy Winder returned to the lineup last week, just 12 days after he'd had surgery on his knee. And they didn't want him to have to play, but because of injuries to Wilhite and also to Lang, who's now off the roster, Winder came in and virtually played the whole game out of position. They played 2 backs last week. Knowing that they're short of backs, they've gone to a 1-back setup, and that puts a great deal of pressure on Sammy Winder.
Only 2 healthy backs, Winder and Steve Sewell, the rookie from Oklahoma. Nathan Poole was signed earlier this week. He has not played football for 2 years. A draw to Winder. Doesn't fool Sean Jones, big number 99. And it's a gain of only a yard.
The big players, the game breakers, and there is John Elway. No question, he's the main man for these Denver Broncos.
He's accounted for 3,000 yards exactly passing, plus 238 rushing. He gets 204, almost 250 yards a game. Marcus Allen, leading rusher in the NFL, he accounts for 146 yards a game.
We'll keep track of these two during the ball game itself. There's Marcus Allen on the sideline. He's the guy that the Raiders want to have the ball in the hands of. He breaks it open for them.
3rd and 8 from the shotgun. Long appeared to be offside. Elway has a free play and guns it for a first down. Or close to it. Now they're going to mark it shy of the 50. Only 8 yards for Clint Sampson.
Going to be kind of a tough decision to make here. The officials warning Sammy Seal, number 43, to stay off on the play. We're going to see a lot of people jaw to jaw. These two teams charged with emotion, not only because of the importance of the game, but also because of the intensity of this rivalry. A lot of voices out there on the field.
75, 3rd down.
Long trying to get an early jump.
That's a bit embarrassing.
And so the Broncos, seeing that there had been 4th and 1 on the completed pass, will take the 5 yards and save the down. The ball moved out to the 47, where it'll be 3rd and 3 for Elway. Didn't you like to play in games like this, knowing so much was on the line, and both teams reflected that this weekend?
You pray at the beginning of the season that you've got this kind of shot. Both these teams have it. Now they both want the opportunity to convert it to a victory.
Raiders have 9 men on the line of scrimmage. Elway is going to scramble. He's the leading rusher among quarterbacks in the NFL, and he struggles to a first down.
John Elway's mobility brings an extra dimension to this Denver Bronco offense. He almost fumbled that snap. We saw a fumble from Wilson earlier. Look at this. He knows what yardage he needs. With the rush coming, he simply goes one-on-one on 56 Jeff Barnes and lunges across that line and just barely picks up that first down.
Needed 3, got 3.5. Ball in Raider territory. 6:44 left. First quarter, no score. Play action and roll by Elway. Wide open is Kay, the tight end. And he rams to the 39. It looks to be another first down. They may have to measure for this one. No, says Fred Ryan. It is a first down. The Bears win their 13th, 17-10 over the Colts. Many of you saw that game earlier here on NBC. New England goes to 10-4. Washington, a struggle, wins at Philadelphia. Other finals, Cincinnati, and the biggest surprise of the day, bombing Dallas. And St. Louis has defeated New Orleans. We'll give you that other score in a moment. It's first down, Denver. Winder. And the Broncos aren't getting much on the ground against that Raider defense. Give Winder a short 4.
One of the reasons that they continue to run, and you might ask, well, they're doing so much better in the air, why do they continue to run? They want to force the Raiders to prepare to stop the run, even though it has not been highly effective. If they once give up on the running game, the Raiders can play a whole different style of rushing, aggressive defense against the pass game.
That other score that we just saw briefly was the Kansas City win, 38-10 against Atlanta earlier at Arrowhead. 9th play of the drive for the Broncos. Second down. Under pressure with Elway. Clears it out to Watson, who pays at the 34. We welcome those of you who have seen the Miami Dolphins and Green Bay Packers here on NBC. Dick Enberg and Merlin Olsen. Mile High Stadium sold out as it has been since 1970. The Raiders and Denver no score. The Raiders unable to move the ball. A fumble by Wilson on a snap. They had to kick it to the Broncos, who have driven from their own 23 to the Raider 33 with 4 minutes and 45 seconds remaining in a scoreless first quarter. This is 3rd and 4. Watson in motion for the Broncos. Two teams tied for first, 9 and 4 in the West. Elway guns it, complete to Kay at the 23-yard line. Clarence Kay, seldom used, but he's been a big factor in this opening drive.
You'll be able to see from the end zone what John Elway will see as this play develops. He's got Watson across, or Kay across in motion. He's under pressure here. Right at the last second, you'll get a chance to see him turn it loose here. He sees Clarence Kay coming open there. Boy, that's a fine job of quarterbacking.
Another first down for Elway and the Broncos. The draw to Winder trying to get outside, and a good hit by Rod Martin. Martin from Southern California, a Pro Bowler, leads the Raiders in tackles again this year. That was a good play defensively. Winder had about 10 yards to the outside. Clock ticking away, 3.5 minutes remaining in the first quarter. And it becomes cloudy, a beautiful day. Sunny and in the 30s at kickoff time. Very comfortable, but as we told you, there is snow 20 miles away to the west.
As the temperature drops, it's plenty cold enough to snow here. We could well have snow before this day is out.
Elway is 4 for 4 passing as he sets up shop, 2nd and 9. Going for it all. Sewell incomplete. Broken up by James Davis, number 45.
To look again from behind. Let's turn it loose and let John Elway drop back. You'll get a chance to see it as he does. Stop it right there now. You see how those two, how they're chasing across. Lester Hayes going all the way across with the motion man. You see the pressure coming in now on John Elway. Look how they're breaking down the cup. And yet Elway still has room in there in that cup. Turn it loose now. He stays in long enough to get that pass out of there. And right there, you've got to wonder again if that shouldn't have been a call on foul.
Nothing wrong with that one. Clint Sampson has 1st and goal for Denver. And Elway is 4 for 4, converting 3rd downs on this drive.
Denver has scored the last 9 times that they've been inside their opponent's 20-yard line.
And they were perfect against the Raiders in the earlier meeting, although they lost in overtime in Los Angeles. It's 1st and goal. Steve Sewell gets a block. And then the coverage is instant by the Raiders as Sewell, who is maturing as a real threat offensively, this number 1 pick out of the University of Oklahoma.
Credit penetration by number 55, Matt Millen, who did not make the tackle, but got deep enough to kind of mess up Sewell's route on that. That's a little misdirection play, and Millen able to bounce his legs a little bit, slow him up. That made it impossible to do more than gain a couple of yards.
This is the 15th play of this first drive of the Broncos. 1:43 left in the quarter. Elway on the roll. Incomplete to Winder. The ball was there. Winder couldn't tuck it away.
We'll see Elway rolling out numerous times today, primarily to give himself more time. And often it will be, as in that case, a planned rollout. Watch Elway. There's no hesitation here. Just a little fake, and then he's heading out. That's a planned rollout. That's not a scramble. Getting to the outside. And that went right through the hands of Sammy Winder.
A long 5 yards on 3rd and goal for Denver. This is where Elway's been tough. 4 out of 4 on 3rd down conversions. Is he in the end zone? No signal yet. Yes, touchdown Denver. James Wright. His first of the entire season.
The Denver Broncos have not use their tight ends as much as many other teams, but they sure use them right here. 87, James Wright just lets the clearing go on. That's Clarence Kay clearing it out. Let's watch him right here and see what he does with that football. The ball has to break the plane of the goal line. He caught it right adjacent to the goal line, and they said he put the ball over.
Must have been part of the Denver game plan to use the tight ends. Clarence Kay had a couple of key catches, and then Wright gets the touchdown. Carlos the extra point, and Denver takes the early lead. So with a minute and a half left in the first quarter, Denver leads. Let's go to NFL 80. The touchdown again right on the goal line.
You'll see Elway again just dropping back, and on the right-hand side of your picture, you'll get a feeling for what's happening here. The blitz is on. Look at that. They're coming in over the top. Stacy Turan jumping up in front of him, but Elway was able to get that ball off, and then James Wright able to fight that ball over the goal line.
Denver chewed up ground on that 16-play drive as if they were on a diet. 77 yards in 16 plays, and the key was the conversion on third downs by Elway, including the touchdown play of 5 yards to Wright.
That's ball control primarily with the passing game. That's something that Dan Reeves really believes in.
Sammy Seal, Fulton Walker deep for the Raiders. Carlos hammers it again. Good kick. They won't run it out. So Carlos, who did not kick the ball inside the 5 against Pittsburgh on 6 tries last week, has hit 2 to the back line of the end zone today.
We talk about some players on the field as headhunters. Number 98, Hundley, gets a double dose right there. Hey, they know who the headhunters are, and they're going to find him and knock him down.
If he's down for a count of 3, is the match over? They had him pinned. Impressive drive, almost 10 minutes for the Broncos to take the 7-0 lead. Allen. Rulon Jones gets him for a yard loss.
Penetration by number 77, Carl Mecklenburg. You'll see it right here. He breaks inside. Mecklenburg forces Allen then to go outside, and there's the tackle.
We welcome those of you who have seen the New York Jets and Buffalo Bills here in Denver. With a minute remaining in the first quarter, Denver leads the Raiders 7-0 in a battle for first place in the West. The winner will go 10-4 to match those 3 teams in the East that are 10-4. Mark Wilson calls time with 39 seconds left in the quarter. So from Denver in this noisy sellout crowd of 75,000, less than a minute remaining first period. It's the opening game 16 seasons ago. They've sold out here at Mile High Stadium. A fervent partisan crowd. The Broncos and the Raiders, so much importance on this game with only 2 remaining. Williams in motion. Good protection. Is it incidental? Yes. No penalty flag down as Hester became entangled with Steve Wilson. Jesse Hester.
Dick, we talked about all of the different positions that Carl Mecklenburg will play. And it's interesting to me that a young man can actually master all those positions. I said, do you have to know exactly what you have to do in each one of those assignments? He said, not only that, he said, I have to practice at each one of those positions during the week. So he has a tremendous load mentally as well as physically. He likes a cool day like this because it keeps the energy high.
So last week against Pittsburgh, he played both defensive ends, both defensive tackle positions, 3 linebacker positions. And he's right up there on the line of scrimmage now on 3rd and 11. Deep and open is Christensen, and he drops the ball. He had to make the turn. He was looking for the ball inside, had to turn outside. For a moment, that had touchdown written on it.
Todd Christensen is usually employed as a short receiver. Well, they send him long here, Dennis Smith, 49, working one-on-one. You see Christensen using his shoulder to ward away Smith. Smith still able to get there, but that ball over his head, and Christensen simply could not handle it.
Ray Guy into punt. The Broncos should come out with good field position. Vance Johnson, the rookie, is at the 35 of Denver. Short kick, end over end. Raider bounce. And down at the 40-yard line by Otis McKinney. Timeout with 16 seconds remaining in the opening period in Denver. The Broncos have a touchdown lead.